Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Penny for a Tale and Brotherhood of Shadows, a Song of Ice and Fire tale. I am Pope, Pope WorldBuild on Twitch, Pope WorldBuild on Twitter. I lurk in all your streams, and maybe this evening your screams. But we'll get to that in a moment. First and foremost, I am joined by this fantastic cast, and it is important that we go around and hear from them before we hear from their characters and the terrors that they must face this evening. So first up, let's go with Spencer. How are you doing, my friend?
I am good. I am at Spencer DVA on Twitter, Discord, etc. And I play Elyon Storm, a brother of the Night's Watch who, at the moment, is traveling through Hearthome by himself. So, we shall see how that plays out for him tonight.
Indeed. Treacherous at best of times. Dealing with less treachery and about to go possibly on the best trip ever, possibly for Stryke. Greg, how you doing?
Just to be clear, best trip ever for Stryke is not best trip ever for everyone else. Uh, but no, Stryke is excited to be potentially chasing down a beast he has not hunted before in the oceans, and that's great. I'm Greg, I'm playing Stryke, and I'm excited to see which of us survives through tonight, I guess.
And speaking of unlikely survival, Celeste, how are you doing?
I mean, he's not wrong, folks. Hi, I'm Celeste. I use they pronouns, as does Bryndon Flowers, Bastard of the Reach, who managed to work his magic and get one person to join us on this ill. I don't want to say ill-fated, we don't know that yet, but on this escapade. Uh, that's one of 6 that we needed. So, I got a little more work to do before we're ready to set sail, if we want to set sail today, which we do. So, yay!
Yes, time is of the essence, as time has not been on the side of these brothers in black. 10 brothers were set out from Eastwatch by the sea, north of the Wall, during the reign of Daron II. Many of these were greenhorns, newly sworn brothers that had yet to be blooded. This was their first task, to go north of the Wall to investigate sightings of dire wolves, a rare sight to be seen near the coast, and, if they proved to be problematic, slay them. Well, the brothers found the dire wolves deep within the haunted forest, but they found more than just wolves. A wight with an unnatural intelligence, a White Walker, coming to visit said wight who had a cabin in these woods. And so the brothers fled before engaging with the enemy, heading towards an old fort, an old tower that had recently been reclaimed by the brothers north of the Wall. And as they made their way through that treacherous forest, one of their number fell, succumbing to disease. As they said goodbye, they found the tower. They found it barred from the outside. Parting and digging their way in, they found that the tower was quickly divested of many tools, weapons, and other places therein were barred from the outside. But upon their inspection and finding of blue blood, something unnatural in and of itself, they decided to spend an evening in the tower. They were awoken in the night by wolves, and worse. Something terrible in the basement broke free, and someone sent by his mistress brought the wolves, and with it the ruin of most of the brothers. As many fell, they fled. They fled further north. And as they traipsed through that haunted forest yet again, it twisted and turned and spat them out at Hardhome, the farthest northern port in all of Westeros, the closest thing to a township in all of the free north of the Wall. They were not welcome warmly, as rarely is a crow, as the free folks say, are welcomed by any of their kind. But they bartered their way into Hardhome, took a few injured among them, found a healer, Elise, bartered with her for their care, and then set about trying to get their bearings, trying to get away home. They found out Hardhome was as hard of a place as its name, and that the easiest way back, which would be by ship, was complicated. A beast in the sea, something called a hull breaker, had been preying upon the waters, keeping the 2 ships in dock stuck for fear of it rearing its terrible head and possibly destroying what vessels lie upon the shivering sea. In seeking for more men and possibly answers, Bryndon and Stryke went north into the white, into the blasted far north. They found much as they found little. A small member of their brotherhood, a lad of 13 years, Bryndon, huddled in a tent with a bunch of gear, as a few of the brothers from the tower who had fled earlier gone up all the way up here to try and find a cache of weapons, answers to what strangeness was going on. And, well, one of them found it. And as he was dying from cold, maybe worse, was able to deliver weapons in a book to Stryke. With his dying breath, stuttering about strange things, odd warnings, Stryke and Bryndon, with Bryndon in tow, made their way with haste back to Hardhome. Elyon, who had been torn nearly to shreds in the ordeal at the tower, and losing not just a brother, but someone far more closer and far more dear, Dawson, had fitful sleep, fitful dreams. Ravens, women with green eyes and pale skin, possibly a visitation in those dreams by one of the most dangerous men in all of Westeros, telling Elyon that there was something terrible coming, and that he had to stop it. And with that, he and one of his fellow brothers, Bruce, were healed of their wounds, miraculously, much to Elise's terror, and Ogden's confusion and jealousy as his arm remained broken. But the brothers reconvened, talked with the captain of the Skagoshi ship about taking on this hullbreaker. Captain needs bodies for this meat grinder of a task, and has asked that they have 6 more among their number if he is to set sail today. If not, he is going to wait for the old salt has his own plans. But we reconvene at the last call, the one tavern in all of Hardhome, where Brother Bryndon has managed to chat up a mountain of a woman who has agreed to be one of their 6. There are bodies lying about in the last call, some most definitely unconscious, others somewhere in between, and maybe 2 aside from the mountainous lass that actually have their wits about them that isn't the bartender. So as Stryke waits outside in the bitter wind and cold, Bryndon, what do you do?
Oh boy. Alright, well, it's time to go see if I can't get somebody else on our side. Of the 2 that are still conscious, who's here with us?
There's a gentleman, definitely looks more wildling than a pirate, nursing something warm, something that smells quite strong, with the hint of milk. Older fellow, which is strange for wildlings. They don't usually live to old age. But in his red beard is streaked a bit of silver in there. Might have just been the harshness of up north of the wall that has aged him so. Or he is a rare thing, an old man in the bitter cold. The other is easier to look. Definitely somebody who may have at one point decided to stay off a boat. Definitely has the look of some sort of pirate, trader. Well armed. Has a naval-style hanger on his belt. A few other daggers, bits and bobs about him. He's sitting at the bar, nursing a beverage, and has made certain not to comment on your previous conversation or talk to anyone in here.
I'm gonna try my luck with the old wildling.
All right.
Pardon, sir. May I sit?
Go ahead.
Take a seat. I know you have ears, so I'm not going to pretend like you probably didn't hear me talking to the young lady at the bar.
What do I get out of this fool's errand?
You get the crows out of town. That's a big plus.
Town has a way of getting rid of crows its own way.
You get rid of the crows a little bit faster.
Aye. I'm fairly certain one of your charming brothers is going to get you all killed. Aside from this, well, nonsense. Again, you want my help, such as it is. You're gonna have to give me more than just you being gone.
Well, once we get back to Eastwatch, I'm certain a reward of some manner could be scared up. Weaponry, coin, drink.
I care not much for coin. Coin doesn't really get us much around here.
I've noticed.
Weapons sound interesting. But call me hesitant to make my all the way to your wall and deal with more of your brothers who will look at me, most likely try to kill me. Now, you get me something good and sharp and shiny, a couple of somethings, and maybe something worth trading. And well, I heard the wolves at the door. I'll join your wretched crew, just for the sake of getting away from this place. Not before I get something to trade.
I'll have to talk with my group and see what we have.
See that you do.
I'm gonna pop back outside to Stryke, and I assume the others.
Yeah, most of them are there.
What do we have in terms of weapons that we can part with?
That we can part with, not a lot. I do not think we would wish to part with those things that came from the north, and we've already given much of what came with us. Is the lure of the rich troves of stuff back home not enough for them?
Well, they're hesitant to trust us that far. Most of them want payment up front, which honestly I can understand, given how they might not even survive the journey to claim the reward. There's also not many bodies in there at all that seem like they're worth pursuing. I picked up one. She'll probably be a dab hand, but I'm really not sure that there's 6 in there.
Well, does this one have any friends?
Not that she'd be willing to rope into this, I don't think. There's not a whole lot of convincing that I can do without something to barter with. I don't have a whole lot of leverage here. Especially not given he just kind of pats the black cloak.
Well, I suppose we could say something along the lines of we'll give them some of our weapons after the deed is done, in the hopes that we don't need to make good on that.
I could try that angle, I'm just not sure if it's going to work.
It's not my strength, talking people into the cold and on journeys where they will die from, I guess. Not everyone wants to make that.
I'm doing the best that I can, but I'm more used to talking people into bed than I am to a...
Huh. Well, he did just say bodies. Perhaps there's... Oh, never mind. It's been a long time since I've talked anyone into bed.
And on that awkward note, Elyon, where do we find you?
I guess they would just be looking for the closest tavern to here, or just looking for brothers. Some crows should not be very hard to find here in Hardhome.
Okay, I'll give you a choice.
Okay.
You can give me a cunning, streetwise,
Oh boy.
or you can give me an awareness notice.
I am going to take that awareness notice check. Good, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so that'll be 5 dice. Keep 4 of those. 14.
14. I have good news and I have bad news.
Cool.
Good news. There look to be 4 men coming to talk to you.
Bad news is they're not crows.
They're not crows, and there look to be 4 men coming to talk to you.
Cool. Alright.
They are armed.
Mm-hmm.
They are healthy looking.
Mm-hmm.
And the discussion that it looks like they're ready to have with you is a vigorous and short one. What would you like to do?
Oh boy. That is a damn good question. 4 individuals healthy. And the conversation, obviously, they were having did not seem friendly towards me if they were talking with each other, correct?
To put a finer point on things.
Their weapons are drawn?
Weapons are definitely drawn. One is wielding some form of club. Another is wielding... Oh, that looks to be a very familiar style of dagger. Something that you wouldn't normally see up here. Another one has a... Oh, that also looks like a familiar style of longsword. Not something you normally find in Hardhome. And the other one has a gaffing spear, which is a very effective yet improvised weapon, which if it goes into the squiggly bits, is going to tear those squiggly bits out.
Hmm. Okay. Around me, is there anything that would be equivalent to just like an alley slash? Basically, even though this isn't really Elyon's specialty, I think he's going to at first be like, "All right, what do you folks want?" And if they don't stop, he's just gonna try and take off down an alleyway.
One of them in a very curt voice. I just want your stuff. Says the one with the long sword. The one with the gaffing spear, just kind of smiles. You see the broken teeth.
Mm.
And the teeth that aren't broken are sharpened. He just wants you.
All right. Yup. Let's take off.
Okay. Give me an athletics run test.
Cool. Oh, I have athletics. Hold on. I forgot athletics is not Elyon's specialty. Oh boy. We shall see. Not bad, but not great. It's gonna be a 10 for athletics run.
Okay. 10's
Yeah.
not great. 10's
Yeah.
not great.
Could be worse.
Worse is indeed a worse thing. So, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go to one of Pope's old style narrative tools. We're going old school. So, Spencer,
Yes.
I want you to tell me what's going on with Elyon, and I'm going to tell you how it's worse.
Okay. He's just essentially looking for, alleys, back alleys, essentially trying to do the urban version of like zigzagging to try and lose them.
Okay. Well, you go off the main thoroughfare. You are running, but you're also trying to keep your head on a swivel to try and find some place to lose these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Good news, you find a narrow alley, and you decide to take that turn. As you do, the one with the dagger rounds a corner you didn't see,
Mm-hmm.
because the locals know the area, you do not,
Yup.
and is going to take a swing on you.
Cool.
Okay. Does an 8 hit you?
It does not. My combat defense is a 10.
Congratulations. So, this rather well kitted, but definitely looks like a wildling, lashes out at you with a dagger that definitely has the make of the forge at Eastwatch. And with that lashing out, manages to just the edge is not properly aligned, so it doesn't bite in hard. There is a slap of iron against your side. Had the edge been aligned, it probably would have cut straight through your belt and into you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Okay, so there's the guy with the dagger. Are the other three people like directly behind me at this point, or?
You don't see them right now.
Awesome. Oh boy. No, I don't think there's. I take time to swing back. I'm not giving myself enough time to get out of here, so I'm just gonna attempt to keep running.
Okay. So we'll say you disengage and then move with haste.
Yep.
So are you trying to keep your head on a swivel and find a way out, or are you just running?
I. I think I'm just still trying to keep my head on a swivel because I'm trying to find the only people who are my friends in this city.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, we're not doing athletics.
Okay.
In that case, we are doing an awareness test.
Okay.
We're at -1 die.
Okay. Fair.
Awareness
But,
notice.
okay. Yep. That leaves me at a base of 4. That's okay. Okay. 18.
18. You don't quite double back. Instead, you follow this alleyway down. You can definitely hear the foot patter of not just your dagger-wielding foe, but more of the rest of that pack pursuing you. You dash down another side alley. It takes you back out to the main thoroughfare. As it does, you recognize where you are now that some of the fog has cleared. You have a choice to make.
Mm-hmm.
You can beeline straight ahead. It's a long run, but you can make it probably to the docks, which is where you left your brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Or you recognize that just a little bit down and then off to your right is the path leading back to the house that Elise has. What do you do?
Nah. Elise isn't a fan of me right now. If I bring 4 random people that are trying to kill me to her house, she will not like me even more. Yeah, let's just make a beeline for the docks.
I need a athletics run test.
Beautiful. Oh boy, that's really not good. 8.
8's bad.
Yeah. Just a bit.
You keep your footing. But the docks, and as the weather has gotten worse up here, everything is a bit icy, mixed with slush. You are able to keep your footing. But this takes effort, concentration, something that takes time you do not have. As the largest one, the one with the filed teeth and the gaffing spear, catches up with you, alongside the fellow with the club, both seeming to not care about the slush, not care about the ice. All they care about is tearing you to pieces. And they try.
Good.
I think a 13 hits you.
Yep, 1 degree of success.
Now let's see about the fellow with the club. And that is also a 13.
Okay. Yep.
So
Also another 1 degree.
both of them hit.
Mm-hmm.
The club mercifully only does 3 damage.
Cool. I'll Yeah, I'll just take the 3 for that.
The gaffing spear is another problem. It only does 2 damage.
Cool.
However, it bites into your flesh and latches onto you. You are grabbed.
Cool. Does it say in the combat cheat sheet what that means for me?
Grabbed is
Let's
a weapon
see.
quality, and it's a bad one.
Cool.
In that you are effectively immediately grappled by the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is good news and there is bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Good news, you can try and tear yourself away, which is an athletics strength test.
Mm-hmm.
But that has to happen on your turn, not theirs, and takes an action.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is your turn.
Mm-hmm.
You can try and tear yourself free of this horrific thing. A tool used to drag fish aboard a vessel.
Yeah. Now, would that be... Is the getting out of the grapple, would that be a greater action or just a lesser action?
That'll be a lesser action.
Okay. Gotcha. Man. Okay. Let's attempt to break free first. A 12?
You break free. You take 1 additional point of damage as your flesh tears off this horrific tool. But now, as you are bleeding from your side, you are free. What would you like to do?
It's a good question. Oh boy. And I have no clue where this damn tavern is, because I went off in a different direction. I am just going to... Oh boy. I can only see 2. Right now. Nah, this is a hard decision. I'm just going to continue moving down towards the docks, my lesser action. All the while, I'm just going to start yelling Stryke, Bryndon's names. See if they can even remotely hear it from where I am.
Okay. We're going to do something fun in this case.
Okay.
Sure, let's do that. I am going to let you do a will test.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
To yell as loud as you can.
Alright.
This will set the difficulty for Stryke and your brothers to hear you.
Oh boy. Alright. Oh, that dice fell. Let's just grab another one I have. 12.
12. 12 is good. It's not great.
Yeah.
But 12 is good.
It's good? Yeah.
And speaking of good, Welcome, Raiders. Welcome from Weave the Tale. I hope Black Void was fantastic, as I'm certain it was. We are playing Brotherhood of Shadows, a Song of Ice and Fire story. We are in Hardhome, far north of the Wall, with a group of Brothers of the Night's Watch. Things are going poorly, and one of them just may die because of his charming personality. But
Very charming.
as he rolled a 12, Stryke, go ahead and give me an awareness notice test.
13.
Just barely as the wind parts between the gales, you hear Elyon crying out your name.
Bryndon, do you hear that? That? And I turn, look that direction, and start striding somewhat purposefully that way, just because one, he might be in danger, and two, it gets me out of the conversation I was just having.
Fair. And as you awkwardly stride with purpose, we cut back to those two hungry-looking figures as they attempt to pursue Elyon with verve, vigor, and murderous intent. So first we'll go with our club friend. Our club friend is very accurate.
I hate that.
And our gaffing friend is just as accurate, as both of them hit with 13s.
Cool. And that was, you said it was 3 and then 2?
3 and then 2. Yep.
Yeah, I think, God, this sucks. I hate, not hate combat, but it's just so brutal. Yeah, I think, obviously, if I take an injury, I'm still getting stuck by this gaffing spear. Let's. Because if I take this again, I'll have a whole 1 hit point left. I'm just gonna take 2 injuries, and that'll negate the damage for both of them.
Yeah, it will. Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you feel as the club comes in against your body, you feel that very distinctive rush of warmth and pain as it comes in, and as you're trying to get out of the way, it just comes down a little bit farther away from where your clavicle first broke. And you feel a new fracture. And then the gaffing spear comes in again. This time it comes in low. And you feel muscle tearing away from bone as the gaffing spear goes in and is starting to, ever so not gently, tear away your calf muscle from your leg.
Cool. I'm loving this right now.
It is your turn, Elyon. What would you like to do?
Yeah, that is a good question. let's just let's do a lesser action to aim, and then another lesser action to do a cautious attack, as
Okay.
he'll unsheath his I believe it was a small sword that he took from Bruce,
Mm-hmm.
and make an attack on the gaff spear fellow.
Okay.
Okay, I can do math, so I keep those. After injuries, 17.
So that is 2 degrees of success.
Cool. That will be
That is damages
6
your agility
damage then.
-1.
Agility -1. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yep, 6.
6. He is going to unsurprisingly take an injury.
Mm-hmm.
As you thrust out with this small sword after taking careful aim. And this is a learned thrust. This is something that, again, with little relish, but with a learned desperation, muscle moves and steel bites flesh as you slide this short sword between ribs, and his lung is now punctured. As you draw your blade back, a little bit of blood curdles up in his spit. He looks concerned and angry.
Cool.
Stryke, you can just see Elyon having a disagreement with some gentlemen along the main thoroughfare.
Yeah, this looks relatively serious. Strike will get his bow out right away and take a shot. Like, I mean, there's blood on the ground. It's
Oh, yes.
so uh, whichever one looks more dangerous at this point, which is probably the big guy with the gaffing spear.
He like, the guy with the club's kind of nasty. The guy with the gaffing spear is definitely nasty.
Well, 26 actually.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was good.
Wow!
I am not going. I am just going to say this man is dead. As Stryke, you just pull the bow, knock an arrow, you take a little bit of aim, and you let fly. And as this big, rough gentleman is starting to tug on the gaffing spear, and is eyeing with murderous intent Elyon, one of those eyes is replaced with an arrow. As he then falls like a ton of bricks. And with that, it's back to our conversationalist's turn. And the gentleman with the club, seeing what just happened, has decided that he is done talking for the day and is going to remove himself from this conversation with all haste. And does so. leaving Elyon, you there standing with a gaffing spear in your leg, a large, dead, and even with the cold, smelly wildling here crumpled at your feet, blood pouring out onto the slush-covered docks.
I shall turn to Stryke, where you can clearly see the gaffing spear in my leg. It's like, thanks. And we'll probably try carefully, but not successful in this carefulness, to pull the gaffing spear out.
You can have a
Don't.
choice.
Okay.
You can attempt to remove with medicine. Should it succeed, you don't take any damage. Should you
Okay.
fail, you will take damage and it will still be in you.
Oh,
Or
boy.
you can guarantee that you take damage and give me an athletic strength check.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, his athletics is better. So I guess we're going with athletics.
Okay.
Yeah. After injuries, 12.
Well, good news. The spear is no longer in you.
Good.
Bad news, you have taken 2 more damage.
Huh. There's really no point in taking another injury for that. So.
So,
Fuck, that thing
yeah.
is nasty.
As blood pours more from your leg, and you have a wound in your side, and anyone who has broken a clavicle, whether it's a hairline fracture or worse, that just sucks on a level that will not abate. As you find yourself limping towards your fellows, what would you all like to do?
No.
When I get to Elyon, I'll look him over. What was that?
The one with the club wanted my stuff. The one with the gaffing spear, on the other hand, well, and I'll just show him the 2 wounds I have now received from a gaffing spear.
Well, keep the spear. We might need it for trade.
Yeah.
Would you like
I'll
to
try
search
and,
the body?
If Stryke does that, I'm just going to attempt to clean off the blood and viscera from the gaffing spear somewhat in like the slush and snow. See if I can even remotely clean it.
I will let you attempt your onerous, disgusting, and impossible task. While Stryke, if you'd like to, I will give you a choice. You can give me a. Let's see here. What would be best? You can give me a thievery steal test, which will have a lower threshold and get you more should you succeed. Or you can give me a cunning test.
So is Bryndon, I assume you're not far behind me.
Bryndon, Ferris, and Benjamin all are come around following you as they see the scene. And Ferris is more concerned over everything than Benjamin is, as he's just sort of doing that 100-yard stare thing he does. As Ferris, and then eventually Bruce comes around and is just shaking their heads.
Well, to pick up the conversation that Bryndon and I were having, I will point towards the dead guy and say, maybe he has something of value.
Worth a shot. Let me see what he's got.
I will offer you the same choice: cunning or thievery steal, Bryndon.
I've got more dice and cunning.
All right.
There you go.
12.
12. You don't find much. Aside from the gaffing spear, things that might be worthy of trade on his person. Clothes are an absolute mess. The torrent of blood coming from his face, as well as the sword wound he took to his side, has just ruined what clothes he had. But you do find on his person a small pouch of two pouches, one with some herbs, one with some salt, which are always good for a small barter. And then you also managed to find a bag with a few coins. They look to have probably been minted from someplace across the Narrow Sea. They're definitely not from Westeros, but they are some coins. Not a lot, probably about the equivalent of altogether maybe 3 silver stags. But it's something.
Well, it's certainly more than we had before, but I think that the thing of most value, at least to the people I was talking to, would be the spear.
A rough thing to use as a weapon, but if nothing else has been proven today, it can be quite effective.
So that's something. I do still want to attempt... If we can at least get them to agree to take payment once we make landfall farther south, then we'll be closer to the wall, and we can possibly part with our own weapons without having to worry too much about being accosted after that.
Muted.
You're muted.
I had one other thought on that matter, that perhaps if we just told them they could have our stuff if we died, uh, that might add a little bit to the bargain.
That's a possibility. It's the best we've got right now, aside from... And I'll go over to Elyon and grab the spear.
Nah, he's keeping tight hold on that.
Do you want the stats, Elyon? Is this your new preferred weapon?
No, he's just... It's more of the things where it's like, this is his to trade because it just came out of his fucking leg.
No, it's a nasty piece of work. It's got for a improvised weapon. It only does athletics -2 damage, but it has grab and piercing 1.
Oh boy, that's nasty.
Yeah. But when you need to
He does not.
drag tuna or marlin aboard a vessel, accept no substitutes.
Yeah, quite effective.
I'll basically just look Elyon in the eye as I'm sure we're doing that thing where we each have a hand on the spear.
Maybe hurt, but I can still kick your tiny ass. Let it go.
You're gonna sit here and fight over a weapon when this could be our ticket to get out of here sooner?
Oh, trust me, I plan on using it to trade. So unless you want to be an ass, let it go.
The only one being an ass here is you. And you've been an ass ever since we left the damn wall.
Sometimes someone's got to do it.
Bruce chimes in. There's blood in the snow, and the locals are probably going to start moving. I suggest we do the same. If you two want to have a marital spat, let's do it behind doors.
There anything more we need to know?
Oh, sorry.
Go, Elyon.
No, I was just asking, did I see where, there are only a couple people in that tavern. I didn't see where they came from.
You didn't see where they came
All
from,
right.
and just like ghosts, you didn't see where they went.
Cool.
He's like a
that's actually...
All right.
Sorry.
Well, where to next?
Is there any more to this story? Once again, looking at the dead guy, that's important to us.
There were 2 more of them. They both had some of the weapons we traded. One a dagger. One, would I have recognized it as my bastard sword?
No, it wasn't necessarily weapons that you traded, but there was definitely weapons from the wall.
Got it. Okay.
There were 3 others in total. One with a club that was not from the wall, and then one with a dagger and one with a longsword.
One with the dagger and the longsword. Both looks like they were forged at the wall.
Well, we found one more. Bryndon has gotten one able body for us, but that still leaves us short by a lot.
Short by 5, was it? Alright. Well, I don't think those folks are going to be any help. So, let's see. Where are you guys just at?
What's probably the
We're
only
at-
bar in...
Alright. And we got one person from there.
And a potential second if I can talk him into accepting payment when we arrive.
Well, this thing's got a bit of damage dealing, and it's got the bit of the meat of a crow on it. We'll see what he thinks of it.
Strike looks at Elyon when he says that, like that whole it's like it's got bait on it, and we're our flesh is the bait for people. Just kind of gives him that odd look. Well then,
He hates it here. He hates it here so much, and he just wants to leave. So
yeah, one thing I kind of also been thinking is that there's a lot of reason for us to leave today, besides just us wanting to get out. But you all heard the wolves on the walls last night, and the words that they said from the north. It might not be all that safe for us to stick around a day or two.
no.
And maybe fear might be a way to convince some folks to come along with us. That things might be getting bad up here soon too, and it might be best if they sailed south on this tide rather than waiting till tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
Worth a shot.
Okay. Yeah, it's better than nothing.
Where would you like to go?
Well, I think. You know what? No, Elliot's not going to go off by himself. He's going to see where the group is going and go from there.
Oh, no random encounter number 2?
No, I'm not giving that to you tonight, Pope. Sorry.
Close that sheet.
Back to the last call, then, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you head back to the last call. Most of the scene has remained exactly as you left it. The smells have not gotten more pleasant, as there are definitely those that are most assuredly not going to be waking up anytime soon. It's maybe being generous, about 9 in the morning. And so they've got at least 2-3 more hours of sleeping it off. Whatever it may be. Though a few are starting to stir, but they definitely don't have their wits about them. But yeah, no, it's the last call, and it smells like it sounds.
How many people are in here? Because Elyon hasn't been here.
Not counting the bartender, there are 12 people in here. Of those 12, 3 are conscious.
Cool. And I'll just turn to the other people. Alright, who's the other one you were trying to convince?
She's the one we've already got. He's the one that wants a weapon or 2 in exchange for his service. Up front.
Alright. I guess at this point, Elyon's sort of limping over, but goes over to the one they pointed out, and I just slam the gaffing spear down on the table. No words, just stares him down.
He stares back at you, like he looks like he's contemplating whether or not just to slit your throat, if just to put you out of your misery or not.
I've got one more weapon other than the short sword. I'll take out one of the daggers that I took off Ogden and just slam it tip into the table. Wanna go help us kill the damn hole breaker or not?
Just kind of narrows his eyes. We're going to do a quick intrigue.
Oh,
this is gonna
boy,
be
I think...
This is going to be the speed rules edition.
Okay.
Good luck.
There are rules for quick intrigues, if I remember correctly. We're not going to even bother with status, because I can already tell you that's practically pointless. What I will have you do is decide your technique.
Okay.
So, are you trying to bargain, charm, convince, incite, intimidate, seduce, or taunt?
I think the only thing he's even remotely good at. Yeah, I'm gonna go with intimidate.
Okay. Go ahead and make your test.
Yup. With my whole 2 dice.
He's going to bargain.
That's a whole 8, Pope. That's a whole 8.
Well, you're about as intimidating as the gaping wounds in your body would suggest, which is, I can probably poke you with the stick I have next to my desk and you'd fall over. He seems unmoved. He just kind of looks at you and goes, "That's a good opening bid, but I'm afraid I'm going to need more."
Fuck's sake. Ogden's back at the house, and he has all the shiny things. Great. I didn't hear that conversation about them having our stuff if we died.
You've heard nothing. You have been off on your own little adventure.
Yeah, I have. He's not giving up that small sword. He needs a weapon. And I guess I'll just turn to the other group members. And just like, well, apparently he wants more than 2 weapons.
Well, honestly, one's a weapon and the other's a tool.
Well, you saw what the tool did to me.
Yeah, that's what happens. He just lets that hang.
Well, maybe he can have your sword too if you die.
I turn to the wildling.
Tempting.
I mean, look at me.
I
Oh boy, yeah, he's gonna try and like sort of play into it as sort of a joke. Yeah, look at me.
Give
Stiff
me a
breeze can knock me
persuasion
over.
charm test.
Oh boy, I think I am just as bad as that as I am status.
I'll give you a bonus equal to your injuries in this case. So instead of
Which
them
is
being
2.
negatives, they'll be positives.
Same fucking number as the last roll, 8.
But I'm not a waiting man. I'd rather have everything up front and then... I mean, I don't need something big, just something reliable that isn't a tool with these 2 others, and then I'll go with you.
Bryndon unstraps his rapier and lays it on the table.
Oh.
It's not going to do me much good on the boat, and with any luck, the boat will take us back to the wall, and I can get another one. Take it.
Well, you are reasonable. You've got
I
one
try to
more
be.
for your crew.
And I side-eye Elyon as I say I try to be.
He gathers up his
any shits.
He gathers up his plunder and just kind of does a slight nod to the mountain of a lady. She downs the rest of her drink, he downs the rest of his, and they head out. If you look at where they're going, they're headed towards the Skagosi vessel.
Cool.
Good. So question. How unconscious are the people in this room?
There's 2 that are starting to stir. They might be able to move on their own power. There are at least 4 that are definitely deep asleep.
Hey, as it turns
Please
out,
don't
4 is the
tell
magic
me.
number.
Yeah.
Because there's
So
me.
are you
there's
thinking of press ganging?
Yeah, I'm totally going to go over to somebody. Like, I mean, Strike's had enough of this. They need to get out. They need 6 bodies. You just pick somebody up over the shoulder, fireman's carry style, turns to Bruce and Ferris and says, and Elyon says, well, if we each grab one, we got 6, and we can get out of this hellhole.
Oh, fuck. All right.
No one's stopping you.
Yeah,
As
I mean, I'll join in this, I guess. This glorified kidnapping.
well,
Look at it this
let's
way.
make
We're
a glorified
saving their lives.
kidnapping check, which in this case is an athletics strength test.
Aw, man. Something I'm super good at.
Okay.
Oh, hey. Did good.
That's gonna be
Okay.
that's gonna be a solid 10, Pope. Solid 10.
10. Okay.
I got a 18. Strike is doing good
Bryndon's
today.
Nice.
been working out. 18.
Hey!
So, Elyon, you struggle. Ferris gives you a little bit of a hand with yours, while he has his own. And you guys make your way to the vessel. Gangplank's already been lowered as one of the crewmen see you guys coming with those unconscious folk. Just like he at
this
first he looks
so
a little
sad from their perspective. It looks so sad.
I mean, he looks a little surprised and just does the slight head shake, but then just smirks and like, as you get close, bring him aboard. I'll let the captain know.
Happy to be aboard.
And as you make the rest of your way on, Bruce is the first one up, deposits the guy, and then rushes back down the gangplank, and goes and gets Ogden and the last bit of your goods from the House of Healing. And with you see Ogden with his arm in a sling running as fast as he can through the slush as Bruce is hauling ass down. The cart starting to slide behind him as the gangplanks just starting to be lifted as they make their way back on the vessel, gangplanks raised. And then the captain comes out of his quarters. Well, not my first time for press gagging, but I'm a little surprised. Impressed. I can't say I'm not impressed. A little surprised. But certainly, we can get these sods woken up here in a bit. Let them sleep a little bit longer. Just make certain we're out of sight of Hardhome. Well, just inside of Hardhome before we wake them up. All right.
At the
Now,
sheer, I don't know what word to use for this situation. When the Skugosi makes that joke, Elyon actually laughs.
okay. That he will remember this. And just go, all right, well. And then he just hollers out, come on, boys, we're shoving off. We've got monsters to kill. Gleaming his eye. Once we're a good bit of ways, once you can see Hardhome as a speck, we'll go over the plans. I hope you're a good shot, the lot of you. You're not afraid to pull your weight.
So, what kind of weapons, necessarily, if I may ask?
Oh, well, we've got plenty of harpoons aboard. We're going to have to tire the thing out.
Alright.
There's a few smaller ships that we've got just along the one side. If the weather holds, we get a number of harpoons in the beast. If you go out in the small ships, get close, stab it until it stops moving. A few of you have got some bows and arrows. Once it surfaces, you might be able to get a shot or two, but its scales are hard. Harpoons get a bit more of a wiggle room in, able to pierce the damn thing. But just make sure that once you released the harpoon, you get out of its way. The lines tend to take whatever's near them. You don't want to go in the drink.
No.
We'll go over the finer details later. I have to get things running.
Of course.
And with that, he leaves you be. And now you're aboard this vessel. It stinks of fish and blood. The timbers are old but well cared for. But there are a number of accoutrements about the vessel that now that you're aboard her, start to stick out. Some of the rigging tie-offs, those aren't wood. That's horn. Not a horn you recognize. It's pearlescent. It seems to be harder than the wood. There's a number of fishing lines that are probably narwhal horn that they have just near one of the rails. And there are definitely bone accoutrements, all sorts. scattered about the vessel. Bones of all sorts of beasts and other things. As you're going along, few of the crew are, well, taking a little leave, playing some dice. Looks to be made out of knuckle bones. They're having a grand old time. Is anyone going to treat Elyon's wounds? Or attempt to?
Well, I do kind of want to talk to Elyon briefly, so that seems like a good opportunity. And I'm a little worried Bryndon might stab him again. So,
Again, wait.
we'll have.
No,
I mean, good
he's
news.
already been. Elyon's currently holy. Bryndon might make him holier.
I hate how much I love that joke.
We'll give Elyon some of Stryke's wilderness medicine, which is not any good or effective, I don't think, but we'll give it a go. And
Sir,
yeah.
Let's let you make that medicine check.
So
That's it.
Good news. I could have rolled lower. I got a 3.
You could have rolled lower. You could have
it's
rolled
1
lower.
above my minimum.
A 3. Yeah. Okay, Elyon,
Ow.
I need you to give me an endurance test.
Cool. Just straight up endurance, no sub abilities or anything like that?
No. You don't get you don't get bonus dice in this one. This is straight endurance.
Okay, cool. Actually, not terrible. After injuries, 16.
Good. That healing doesn't cost you more life.
Oh boy.
Nothing is healed. You don't get an opportunity to feel better. In fact, this you feel more like Stryke is just hurting you. It's not like he is causing you like undue distress or trying to torture you. It's just that his attempts at healing you are just causing you further discomfort.
Yeah,
think about that as you have your conversation.
After probably a couple minutes of him helping, I mean, I'm like, okay, stop. Fuck me.
Yeah. Well, I know, Elyon, that you're hurting, and we haven't really been able to spend the time to fix that. But right now, we're still going to need to just focus on this hull breaker as best you can. So hold yourself together for at least another day. And then hopefully we're on a nice, pleasant journey on the sea, headed back to Eastwatch, and we can deal with all the stuff that's happened.
I'm not trying to ask if Stryke is bullshitting Elyon, but the tone of voice, something in the tone of voice feels off to him. It's just like, fine. Not making any promises, though.
Well,
son of a bitch.
I would rather we all made it back than I left any more of the brothers up here. And that even includes the ones that are asses.
They'll sort of raise an eyebrow a bit. Who's included in that group of asses, Stryke?
I think it's all of us, Elyon. I think it's all of us.
Yeah. I think we're all shits in one way or another. You know, I think you've been here longer than I have at this point. Why'd you come here anyway? Not hot home, obviously, but what made you take up the same cloak the six of us are wearing?
Oh, that was a long time ago. But I was like Bryndon over there. I grew up in the South somewhere. Pleasant days, nice temperatures, eating the fruit, looking at pretty women. Got myself too deep into that, and here I am. First thing that happens to me, go out, trip like this, blooded, get a wolf gnawing on my leg. 5 days they drug me through the woods. 5 days. Each day they were like, oh, I didn't think I would see another sunrise. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I forgot all about all that stuff. Now I'm, when I was lying there just about dead, bleeding out from that wolf, staring up at the cold. It's all I could think of, all I could see. The north, the cold. It's all I cared about anymore, really. Nothing else matters then.
The blooding's never a fun process. Were you there whenever we had that mission to retake that fort? That was... Okay, my question for sake of logistic stuff was the fort that we retook, was that the same place with the tower we stayed at, or was that a different fort?
It's the same place.
It's the same place. Okay, got it. Just couldn't remember because it's been a while. Were you there when we were on that mission to retake that place?
No, I was out scouting. Came by just after they finished up.
Yeah. Funny enough, that was... Of course, being the headstrong brute that he is. And you see his mood start to soften a little bit. Dawson saved my life there. I mean, still had a nasty injury right along here, and he'll sort of like reach towards like just below the small, wait, not small of his back, but sort of like a point of the spine, like just below the neck. Still took a nasty injury from it, but same thing happened to Dawson. We just happened to be close to each other since then. And now he's like trying to not like break down and cry. He's really gone, isn't he, Stryke?
I'm sorry you couldn't save him, Elyon. It was a damn fool thing to try, you know. Just about got lots of us killed, but you do what you have to do.
Yeah, he Wasn't always the brightest one. But he cared.
Well, he definitely picked someone that needed protecting. Looks down at the injuries. I hope he finds someone else that can keep this from happening as well. But that's really what I'm here to say.
Sure.
There's lots of chance for that, except for in the next couple of hours, we're all probably going to be dead anyways, and we'll get another chance. Let's hold it together till after this Hullbreaker is dead. Then maybe we can find some ale somewhere in the bowels of a ship and talk about those times again when death is not looming on the horizon any further.
We can actually make Yabo straight break out some of the good stuff then. Never shares it with anybody.
That's a plan. I'll stare at him until he does.
Or you could just try smiling. Seems to creep people out just as much as you're staring.
Yeah, I don't get that, but I'll give it a go.
And Elyon just chuckles. Okay. Oh boy.
And as you are laughing, you see the men who were sleeping left asleep above the deck. As crew members take buckets of salt water, cold, oceanic salt water, and toss them in their faces. As the first mate, rise and shine. Congratulations. You are under new employment. You find yourselves upon the Scargosi vessel Stonebones. She is an old traveler. We are her caretakers, and you get to be part of her crew. And today, we're hunting a Hullbreaker. You are going to have harpoons. You are going to see a monster. You are going to put the harpoons in the monster. Or we're going to throw you overboard. Or you're going to end up overboard. So your choice is serve, maybe die. Not serve, definitely die. And looking at you, and he smiles at the one that has a bit more meat on their bones. This is the first time you've seen him smile.
Oh, is it more disturbing than Stryke's smile?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The
Just making sure.
The teeth are filed, but also they're all well cared for. Bright, pearly white, and sharp.
Fudge,
You,
okay.
we might season you. Have some fun. It's not winter, but we can make do with some home cooking. Then just jab the guy in the ribs with his fist, and then turns around. Get yourselves ready. Captain's gonna address everyone soon.
Welcome back to the world of the conscious, ladies. To the folks that just woke up.
They are groggy, they are miserable, they are terrified. The leanest of the group just leans over the railing in hopes to sort of catch their breath, put things better. But as anyone who has been seasick knows, putting your head over the railing actually just makes everything worse. And whatever was their stomach contents is now chum for the sea. As they are miserable, terrified, and vomiting. But on the sounds of misery, out from the captain's quarters, walks the captain. He has changed clothes, he is well dressed, has a nice pointed hat, with a bright series of plumes upon the hat. There's blue, white, and an iridescent purple plume in his hat. Good afternoon, gentlemen. We endeavor here to kill a monster, free up the shivering sea for trade. Normally, this vessel makes a long haul journey between Hardhome, Skagos, and then up along the free cities, through the shivering sea, all the way to Ibn. Good fishing, good trade, good times. But this monster has put a damper on things, and I don't take kindly to that. And so, that fishy bastard is going to die today. Or we're all going to die trying. Now, what the majority of the lot of you are going to be doing, since I more along the lines wish to eat you than to work with you, you are going to be along the rails, watching for the beast. When it is in sight, throw the damn harpoon. It's big enough you shouldn't fucking miss. And when you do hit it, you're going to get the fuck out of the way, as the line is going to be taut tight. As lines are tied to the mast, so we can tire the fucker as it tries to get away. And as I try to keep it from getting under the boat and killing us all. When it starts to tire, those I actually give a damn about are going to go out in those two boats over there, and they're going to get close to the damn thing and stab it until it stops moving. This is dependent upon the old gods taking pity on our poor souls and not bringing in a storm which I can smell coming our way. The waters are going to be fast, as I'm going to try and give us as much advantage as possible. I'm fairly certain now that Hardhome is just a speck on the horizon. The thing has heard us and is coming for us. So, pray to whatever gods, new, old, I don't give a fuck. Get yourselves in position, listen to my men, and get ready for the fight of your lives. If you live, well, some of you we've made deals, and I'll make certain to deposit you at your wall. Some of you have made deals with these crows, and if it means depositing you somewhere, I will hold to their word. As for you unconscious lads, well, I doubt they made any deals with you. And as such, if you live, you get to be part of the crew. Or I can drop you off in Skagos. You can meet some of my relatives. I'm certain they'd be loved to have you all for a nice family dinner. On that note, get your asses in gear! We've got monsters to kill! And he walks up, gets in position behind the wheel, starts barking orders as the rest of you are brought to different positions along the rails. All of the crows are along the starboard side. You each have 6 harpoons near you.
Holy. Alright.
You are only going to get your fighting dice on these.
Okay.
They provide no bonuses. I know your stats. I know how much damage these will do. Upon loosing one of these, you will then have to make an agility test to get out of its damn way. Whether you hit or miss. Don't fail. So now, the fun begins. It's not long until you're all in position that there's a cry from the crow's nest. As the cry goes out, the ship actually turns first hard to port. You don't see the thing. You just hear from the opposite side of the vessel hollers. A number of men, 11 in total, loose harpoons. Two of those men, 2 that you just drug out of that hole, don't get out of the lay of the lines and are pulled overboard. It is violent, it is awful. As the speed of the line wraps around one of their legs, the other around their torso, they slap hard against the rail and are pulled over, screaming. That's the first pass. Lines go taut, some eventually go slack. There's another cry as the sea starts to churn up. The waters have gotten fast and unpleasant and choppy. Now, the ship makes another hard turn. And as the cries reach up, you can see the damn thing, at least part of it. Bone white spines crest the water. The spines themselves may be 4 feet long. Wedged, almost like a glaive, thick. Something that definitely, if it ran across the bottom of a vessel, would break it apart. A long serpentine body attached to these spines. Scales blacker than the water. A little bit of shine from the sun gleaming off of them. And as you bear witness to something older than any kingdom on Westeros, I ask you to make a roll. Go ahead and roll fighting.
Okay.
Yeesh. 12.
Okay. 12 hits.
I also got a 12, although I feel it's now the time I get to ask the question about whether this qualifies as a beast for a great hunter.
It does.
Then it's an 18.
Excellent.
Wow. Beautiful.
I got a 13,
Bryndon.
so
You managed to hit. You all managed to hit. Before I say further, I need you to give me those agility tests.
Can I make an argument that this is agility dodge?
Sure. I'll take agility dodge from you, Elyon.
Okay. Beautiful.
Oh,
I'll also take agility acrobatics, quickness, or dodge.
It's pretty good on the dice. After injuries, that will be wait. 13?
Okay. Strike.
Despite the injured knee, I managed an 11, which is almost as high as I can roll.
Okay. Bryndon.
I also got an 11.
So this is what happens.
Uh-oh.
You loose the harpoons into this massive beast. It must be, by your reckonings, at the parts that you're throwing at least 5 feet broad. As you throw these harpoons, each of them land gathering purchase along its flesh. Stryke managing to, with skill and possibly a little bit of glee, manage to place it just between two of the spines, definitely causing this beast an additional level of agony as you all hit. And the ropes zoom past you with speed that you are not accustomed to. However, you manage, as they go wide and woolly, to keep your legs out of the way, all of you,
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
as they each pull taut. There is a hard turn as the ship is now towing this thing. Multiple lines hidden and embedded in its flesh. It's struggling to get free of some, as the lines have pulled quite taut. It has gone under. It is going deep, and it is trying to get away. Some of the lines go slack as you feel the boat, as it's trying to turn, being pulled straight. The bow starting to dip down. The strength of this beast is immense. The waves getting choppier by the second. Water splashing along the rails, stinging your faces between the salt and the cold. As more orders being barked down in a language you do not quite recognize.
Oh, good.
As the skags aboard the vessel work quick to change the sails, their direction, struggling with rigging, doing everything they can to keep this vessel upright and running. And then it surfaces again.
Boy.
It surfaces on the starboard side. You see it. And you see it breach. Its head is immense, as wide as its body. Its eyes are not large. No, you think with the pinpricks that they might be just big enough as my fist. But the nostrils on this thing are large, as wide as a man. Its teeth, which it shows as it breaches, there are 4 long fangs, and alongside them, row after row of serrated teeth. Black scales along the sides, and as it's breaching and coming back down, you see the fins, and along its sides, as it gets closer to the midsection, more spines jut out, 2 feet long, thicker. This thing goes up underneath the vessel and drags itself along it. The ship will break in 2. There is no hope for a ship that you know of in all the world. Should this thing want to kill a vessel, it can. Go ahead and make your rolls.
This thing is proper horrifying. Oh my god.
Whew. Okay. 16, 18.
18's good. Strike.
You're muted.
It's twice today. 18 as well. I got the same as last time.
Okay. Bryndon?
13.
You all hit. Go ahead and give me those agility rolls.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of hate in my body for this.
That might not be good for me. Oh, that's really not good, actually. Because I'm only keeping 3 dice.
We'll start with you, Bryndon. What did you get?
12.
Okay. Strike.
10.
Oh.
Elyon?
Y'all ready? 7.
No!
So here's what happens. Elyon, you saw what Stryke did, and you managed to follow him up. As your harpoon goes into the body of this vessel, right between 2 of the spines. Stryke, as it's up in the air, you throw early, and you manage to get it in one of the gills. Bryndon, you get a solid body shot. The lines pull taut, rushing with unnatural speed. And Elyon, in that moment when you're supposed to jump, your leg gives. The leg that had this gaffing spear in it just doesn't do what you tell it to. The rope wraps up your leg. It hurts, it burns, and before you can even let out a scream, you are dragged over the rail.
Oh my god.
Your body hits the water. It's cold, and because of your wounds, it burns the fire of 1,000 hells. I need you to give me an athletics swim check.
Just... Okay. Athletics swim. This is gonna be fun. What's the name? 10.
You are pulled deep down.
Cool.
You struggle. You can just see the light of day, but you are at least 8 feet under.
Fuck.
The water is cold. And it is terrible. And you are in the water with possibly the mother of all monsters.
Oh my god.
Hold on, I'm reading things. Oh, I see. Yeah. Wait. Well, I'm not trying to save my character, but I looked at the flaw for my agility just to make doubly sure. It just says that I take -1 dice. It doesn't say that I keep 1 less dice. If I'm looking at this correctly, so that if I would have still kept 4, it would have been a 10 instead of a 7. I'm not sure if that still saves me. If I'm reading it correctly, I might not be.
Again, a die penalty usually means that you are down a die.
Right. It says that I just take -1 dice on all the tests, though.
So, I guess you could.
I'm not trying to like rules lawyer to keep my character alive. I just wanted to read and double check it to be sure.
I can see. Again, this is one of the things that I'm not a fan of with this system. Is it's fuzzy. Specifically with this language.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll do. I'm going to let you roll for me your worst ability.
Worst ability. Oh man, that's a lot. There's a lot of those, bud.
If you get 8 or better, it's your interpretation. Because 8 was the threshold for making these tests.
Are you kidding me? 1 below. Okay. All right. You know what? Yeah, I like this.
Or better, you get. If it's 7 or less, it's bad.
Okay. Yeah. I can work with this. Go on, 2d6. Nope.
Gambling.
It's below that 8. It's below that 8. That's what matters. It's below 8.
So you're in the water. You're not dead yet.
Yep.
You're not dead yet.
Keyword yet.
At this point, the ropes go taut. And again, the ship is being dragged. It goes back. Go ahead.
I was just going to wonder if is there an opportunity to act now that I saw my companion drug overboard?
In a second.
Okay.
Because this all happens incredibly fast. Ropes go taut. Your companion's in the water. And the captain pulls hard on the wheel, trying with all of his might to pull the vessel away from the beast. Trying to keep it at its furthest point so this thing doesn't go under the ship. Now you can attempt to do something.
Well, seeing Elyon go overboard, Stryke is likely to pull his dagger and cut that rope.
This is going to be rough. I'm going to let you give me either you can give me a strength athletics test, or you can give me a fighting light blades test to try and cut the rope.
Okay, I'll go strengths athletics. Well, I got a 12, so not horrible.
12's not horrible, but 12's not great. You are cutting into the rope, but these ropes are thick.
Yeah.
It is still holding taut. You have cut through 2 of the cords of the rope. There is 2 more left. So that rope is weakened, but it's not free. It is not loose. Bryndon, what would you like to do?
I want to take up one of the harpoons and throw it toward Elyon, in the hope that he can grab hold of that rope and pull himself out.
Okay. I will let you do
But
so.
I'm also underwater. You can't see me.
Yeah, but saw where you went.
Yeah.
So this is a difficult test. Let me just ask you, Bryndon, how many dice are you rolling?
If it's the same that we've been rolling to throw harpoons, it's 3 dice.
Okay, that lets me know the difficulty.
Okay.
Because I want to make this possible, but I know by base default what this difficulty should be. I'm just adjusting it a little to give folks some hope. So go ahead and roll those three dice.
Okay. 15.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
Okay. Elyon.
Oh boy.
Oh, shit.
I need you to give me
Yes.
another athletics swim test.
Yup. Seems about right. Oh boy. So that would be 10, but just to ensure things, because I think I got the same number last time and it did not go well. I'm going to. Oh boy, this is not smart, but I think Elyon's trying to get back up. I'm going to burn my other destiny point to add 5, so that becomes a 15.
Okay. So at that moment, with all the might you've got, you swim. You swim for your life. And at that moment, you see a harpoon just come ever so close to you. Since you spent the destiny point, I'm going to say you can, as you're out, wrap your arm in that rope.
Yep, doing it.
And because the destiny point was burned, Bryndon, I will let you see that he's on the rope.
I'm going to start pulling.
Before you do, I need another roll from Elyon.
Okay.
Okay, what do you need?
You've been in the water an entire round now.
Yes, sir.
I need an endurance test.
Yep. Oh man, the dice don't like me tonight. I can basically just take that one away. That is going to be a nice 10 for my endurance roll, sir.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Well, 10 is right now the threshold for the check in 1 round.
Oh my
Okay.
god. Okay, cool.
For every round that you stay in the drink, the difficulty increases. So you're good there. Now, Bryndon, you can give me an athletics strength test. This is not going to be easy.
Okay. I'm gonna burn a destiny point to add 5 to this.
Okay?
So that's 9, 12, 15, 20.
20.
Oh my god, okay.
So much like earlier we've seen along the cliffside, Bryndon has moments where he just has hysterical strength. And this is one of those moments. Hand over hand, pulling with all the adrenaline just shooting through his veins. And still holding firm as the deck of the ship pitches in the stormy ocean. Elyon, you feel yourself getting closer to the ship and getting out of the water. You're along the side of the ship at this point.
Cool.
Dangling like bait on a line.
Oh, don't use that descriptor, man.
I have to.
I know. I know.
As there's someone in the water, it gets to go.
Oh, boy. Hi, giant fish.
First, I roll to see what it uses.
Oh,
Bite
shit.
or rake.
Oh,
fuck.
boy.
It uses bite.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I feel like that's the better option.
No.
I mean, maybe. If it's biting
No.
me, maybe not.
So, what's your defense?
That for you, sir, solid 10.
Only a 10.
Only 10.
Okay. Well, considering 2 destiny points were spent, I'm going to say this is what goes down.
Oh, no.
So, I've got good news, and I have bad news.
Okay.
Good news. You're not dragged under.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah.
good news.
Yeah.
No.
Good news. You will be pulled up to the vessel.
Also good news.
Oh, God. Oh, I don't like this.
Bad news.
Yeah.
Well, good news. You're alive.
Yeah. I'm alive. Neat.
Bad news.
Yeah.
Not all of you made it aboard the vessel.
Aw, yeah.
As the lower part of your leg, just a few inches below the knee, is no longer there.
Oh,
Mhm.
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You immediately take a wound.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And an injury.
Okay, yeah, it's great. It's 3 injuries and a wound, yep.
Yep.
Cool. Ow.
You're alive. You're aboard
I'm
the vessel.
alive.
Someone should probably treat that wound before he bleeds out.
I like to imagine it was the same leg that got gaffing speared that also got
Yeah,
bitten.
we'll say for that because there was blood in the water and it It wanted
Oh,
that
yeah.
leg. It was feeling pecky.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
And as it bites and grabs hold of you as you're being lifted up, and the leg just gives, because, well, that was the best thing that could happen. It also smacks against the vessel. It doesn't do a full rake, but the ship now has a few new holes in it
Great.
and is taking on water.
Great.
Now, Elyon is effectively not in this fight now. Stryke, Bryndon, you have a choice to make. Are you both going to treat him? Are one of you going to treat him while the other continues trying to kill this beast? Or are both of you going to try to kill this beast and put Elyon in the hands of one of your other brothers?
I mean, I'll exchange glances with Bryndon to see how he feels.
Bryndon has abandoned the side of the ship and is working on Elyon, but he's waving Stryke off. Because if anybody's going to take this thing down, it's Stryke.
Hey.
Okay. Bryndon, you have a effectively amputated limb. How are you going to treat this? I will give you a knowledge test or a medicine test to come up with the easiest solution at this point.
Well, I'm rolling 2 dice either way, so let's go. Come on,
There you
man.
go.
Stop falling out of my hand. 10.
Woo!
There are some braziers on deck. Cauterize the wound.
Oh.
That was going to be my call, honestly, because that sounded like the way to go. I assume there's like a big piece of wood sticking out of one that I could get my hands on.
There are even irons in there that you could get. Big ones.
Oh, good. Okay, I'll take one of those. And I'll fucking take it.
Am I conscious at the moment?
Oh, yeah. And in so much pain.
Seeing Bryndon go for a piece of iron out of a brazier, I'll just am I still wearing like gloves and stuff, I would assume?
Yes.
I'm just gonna take off one of the gloves, bite down on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good news. I'm not going to make Bryndon make a medicine roll. That's the good news.
That is the good news.
I need you to give me an endurance test.
Cool. Oh, wait. Nope. Not rolling that many dice. I have a wound. Oh, boy. This many. I got a 4. This many.
Okay. Not good news, but merciful news. You take one more injury.
Oh, boy.
And you are unconscious.
Fair enough.
You are alive. You are fucked. But you are alive. And Bryndon pretty much single-handedly saved your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Stryke. Give me a roll. Let's see if you can help kill this thing.
Another harpoon roll, correct?
Yes.
15.
15 hits.
Nice.
Digs in deep. More barking has happened, but you're tuning that all out. I mean, the grunting scream of Elyon and all the other things, the rushing of the waves, the wind whipping, the sound of the sails cracking as the wind whips around. The storm that was predicted has come early. Rain starts pelting the deck. The waves are getting even rougher, and the ship is taking on water. The captain manages, with effort, whipping the wheel around and gives the order for the men, one of the boats, to be loose. He doesn't necessarily want to lose all of his good men to the stormy seas and this dire, desperate endeavor. They get in the boat. It takes some time, but the damn thing is starting to tire. Rents of wounds, myriad lines sticking out of this thing. But the chop of the seas and the storm is almost a blessing, as it keeps the lines taut, and the waves are starting to take a toll even on the beast, as it is forced to the surface. Boats in the water. Chop is so much that 1, 2, 3 of the men on board are knocked over. But the crew just lets them go, as they row like madmen to get close to the thing. And with spears and whatever else they had, they riddle the beast full of holes. As they do, it turns around and snaps at the boat. The rest of the men thrown into the water or worse. But in a few moments later, the thing just goes slack, floats for a bit, and then sinks under the waves. There may have been roughly 200 crew, not counting the lot of you on this vessel. At the end of this, there are 30 less men aboard this ship. It takes thought, action indeed, to keep this vessel floating, as the water is coming in something fierce. But the holes get patched, and eventually the storm subsides, but the boat is listing badly. Ballast is being thrown over, trying to keep her light. But as darkness comes with night, you are alive. And with that miraculous thing, we are going to come to a close for this evening. So first we're going to go around where you can find out where these people are and follow them. They are absolutely amazing. And then we might get to a little something extra after they're done with their outros. But first things first, Celeste, how are you doing? Where can we find you?
I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to save him, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe it wasn't the wrong call. Hi, I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. I don't know a whole lot of streaming of my own, but you can catch me on other people's channels. I'm over on twitch.tv/MattTab7 every other Sunday with Masks Sunset City with another certain someone on this screen. We're not playing this coming Sunday, but it'll be next Sunday when we discover exactly what Lady Perilous decides to come up with her little scheme. And also, we're fighting people in Valhalla. Specifically, we're fighting Beowulf and his little crew in Valhalla. That's gonna be fun. And then I'll be back here next Wednesday, and we'll see if Bryndon drowns or not. Did I say Sunday? I meant Wednesday. Whatever.
Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing good. We are still alive, and that's exciting. But consequences have happened, so it's good. I am streaming on this Sunday as well, doing some 5th edition D&D that I'm running. This is the one where I have the chat playing the sword, the talking sword, and the like this week. So we had a lot of fun last week. We actually accidentally captured a piece of the god of death, and they're carrying it around now. So that'll be fun. Other than that, just I'll be back here next week to see what happens.
Speaking of gods of death, Spencer, how you doing?
Yes, I am great. I'm great. Elyon, not so much. Elyon's in. No, I'm not going to even say arguably. He is in worse shape than after the incident at the tower. And yeah, that is a thing. But I am at SpencerDVA on Twitter, Discord, etc. Only thing I've really got going on right now is Brotherhood of Shadows here every Wednesday. But I've got some other stuff I'm working on when I have time that I might be able to show off on a stream soon. Maybe we'll see what comes of it. So yeah. But that is me.
Excellent. Before I talk to you about my nonsense, first we need to go back to north of the wall, back to the area of the free folk, back to the haunted forest. There is marching. Nightrunner clans are fleeing for their lives. As they head west as fast as they can, doing what they can not to abandon their clanmates. But those who fall on the run through the trees are not gone after. There is no one with rope and harpoon. There is no one there to save. There is just a desperate flight as the dead walk, and they do not stop. Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. If you want to see more of my silly face, you get a number of opportunities throughout the week. Next up is going to be back around... Oh, no, it's going to be this Friday over on Valdrian's channel at 2 p.m. Eastern for Shades of Tartarus, a Lancer story where we're in the middle of a gang war. And it's violent with mechs, and there might be a really big explosion, or we might all die, because invisibility is a bitch. And then every other Sunday, over on Mattev7's channel, I get to play again with the amazing Celeste in Masks Sunset City, where Yeah, it is never a dull moment, and terrible things always occur. I'll just leave it at that. And then Wednesday is the double header. First, we start off over on Follow Black Cats for Hex Game. Nope, the spy game Hex Crawl, where I play an absolutely terrible human being named Sherlock, who likes to fight people and may be the bad guy of this story. We don't know. And then we come back here for Brotherhood of Shadows, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Penny for the Tail. Same terrible time, same terrible channel, where you can find all this darkness, desperation, and cold. Speaking of cold, we go back north to Hardhome. The wolves howl at the gates. The locals gather together who are left. Berta bellowing orders right at the front. But it's not from the walls that death comes. A bird, some form of bird of prey, green feathers, comes down behind the wildlings' lines. But it's not a bird for long. A lady in emerald clothes and terrible pale skin. Right behind them lets out a shriek of howling wind, of cold, of pain, as numerous wildlings are just racked, grabbing the sides of their heads, blood spilling from their ears and eyes as they crumple into heaps. Those barring the door now just piles, dolls in a field. The gates burst open and the wolves pour in. There's screams, but they're lost on the wind. Thank you all for joining us this evening. A story is nothing without an audience. Whether you're watching live on VOD or YouTube, you're as much part of this as we are. And I thank you for joining us. Take care, everybody. Pleasant screams. See you next time.